Hello guys, so welcome to the new vlog and watching the blueprint. You guys know that what we are shooting today. So we are going for the legs vlog today and it's going to be super interesting. You're going to be learning much more tips regarding how should the foot placement be, how should the breathing be, how should the range, how should the speed of the rep should be. So that's going to be that we are going to be including in this vlog today. And when it comes to legs, is the largest muscle group in the body. So when it comes to that, you should be giving equal importance to that, because in today's world, the guys and the girls, whoever it may concern to, is more focusing on their upper body, and that's what we shouldn't do. It's the legs that really matter, and that's how the foundation of our body is based on. So we are starting with the legs vlog, and the first exercise that we are going to do today is the best of all weight training exercises, the squats. So let's go. So guys, when it comes to squats, now it's a very commonly asked question that I get to know is about the squat range. So now many people say that I don't have the hip flexibility, the knee joint flexibility, then I can't go down full range and get that ass to the grass. I really feel that it depends completely on your comfort zone, what should the range be. But to answer your question, the range of your squat should be more than the parallel level of your knees. You should be going down under the knee line, and then you can push back faster. Make sure that you inhale before every rep, hold that breath, get down, full range, and then when you punch faster and exhale. That's how the speed of the rep should be in order to lift max weights and do it with a good form. We did the first set right now with 20 kgs. Since it's the main exercise for legs, we'll try to go at least 4 to 5 sets for this, and we'll progressively increase the weight, of course maintaining the form clean and focusing on the hypertrophy of the muscle, as in the growth of the muscle. So moving on to the next set. Yes guys, so we are now trying to understand the basic of how to unrack the weights from the squat rack. So he'll try to demonstrate how it should be done. So you can get under the bar. Now make sure that the bar is exactly in the center of your spine. Now you inhale and stand. That's how simple it is. You just have to inhale and stand. Now you can come one step back. And this is your position where you actually get your squats started. Guys, yes, so one more common mistake that many people do is that this elbow, they tend to take it outside of their body region. What you have to do is you have to turn the elbows inside, so automatically the chest comes up and the bar is exactly on your upper scapula. That's how it goes. Now you inhale and go for the squat. Up. Make sure that the elbows are turned in even when you're squatting. And up. Yes, that's how the speed should be. So guys, this was the third set and it was a good one because this was almost 80% of the weight that I lift usually. And those who are already watching my vlog since a long time, just want to tell them that I don't go 100% that I usually train in the gym when I'm working out personally, because I have to talk with you guys and share you some good tips when I'm actually working out and lifting weights. So I'm not going 100% today, I'm just going 85 to 90% of the weight. And last set, 2 to 3 reps, we are trying to go with 2.5 plates. So there's 20 on each side and 2 20s on one side and 1 10 on one side. So that's going to be 2.5 plates. So let's see how it goes, and that's all for squats. Then moving on to the next exercise. So guys, now I'm going to tell you guys the biggest misconception for squats that a beginner, an intermediate or an advanced person faces when he or she is doing the squat. So get into the squat position, and if you observe, now basically when he's sitting down, his knees are coming in front of his feet. Now that is not wrong. Naturally, of course, it's said that you can't take your knees forward, but if your hip mobility, your hip flexibility is nice, and if your joint mobility is nice, then if you take your knees forward, it's absolutely fine. Now he being an advanced person, there's no tension on his knees because he's doing light weights. So nothing to get worried about. If you take your knees slightly forward, it's absolutely fine, but just clear this misconception that your knees can come forward. Just keep one thing in mind, that this is an imaginary line. Don't take your knees more forward than this, because if you take that forward, then your heels are going to get lifted and your toes, being the softer part, can't lift your body weight with the external weights. So keep your knees in that imaginary line and push faster. That's it. Guys, moving on to the most favorite exercise of the legs workout, and when you see this, you'll actually say that I'm using the sarcasm rather. So we are going for the Bulgarian split squats, and this is how it goes. So you can adjust your position accordingly. First of all, that's really important to adjust your position. When you adjust your position, check whether the knee placements is right or not. Then inhale and control down. Full range, make sure that the rear knee is going closer to the floor and push. The entire body weight is going to be completely on the front foot, which is on the floor. So right now it's the left leg. So you push. That's how it's going to be. You can do 4 reps more. So that's how it's going to be. Those who are looking for the muscle gain, those who are looking for fat loss, this is the best exercise because this is actually going to give you the toning of the muscle, and the extra fat that you're looking to reduce from the specific body part is going to help you in that as well. One more thing, when you're doing this exercise, you have to keep your spine absolutely straight, and to exaggerate it more, you need to keep your chest up. That's really important because if the weight is heavier, naturally you're going to bend your spine, which is absolutely natural, but you need to make sure that the chest remains up and the body weight is completely on the front foot. So after everyone's favorite exercise, we are moving on to the goblet squats, and this is again one of my favorite exercises for the quads, for the thighs, because you can do this exercise anywhere where you're training. So for example, if you're doing it in a whole equipped gym, of course you can do it. Even if you're training at a home, you can do it. Even if you're training in a hotel gym, you can do it. So this exercise is as such that the people who have neck injuries or some trapezius bands in their upper trapezius, they can definitely do this exercise, and this focuses on the range of the squat, and it's of course injury free because your hips are getting pushed back completely, and of course the weight is in the front. So one of my favorite exercises, injuries free exercises, and let's see how it works. So guys, when you're doing this exercise with the heavier weights, so honestly this is not heavier for me, but for those who do heavy with this exercise, they lift in a very abnormal manner honestly. So I would just like to tell you that how the appropriate manner is to lift that heavier weights when you're doing the goblet squat. So of course naturally you go down with your spine straight, you take this elbow as a leverage on the other knee, and then you lift it straight up, take it on your thighs and hold it. That's it, how it goes. Okay, now you take your elbows up, chest up, spine straight, hips pushing back, and inhale and go. Moving on to the fourth exercise for the quadricep, that's the thighs muscle, and that is the leg extension. Yes, I know that I had said that this exercise is a overrated exercise and the front squat is an underrated one, but we are doing this exercise just to get that blood flow to the muscle, so the muscle is intact by the end of the workout. Because if you do so many exercises for the legs, and if you're not having that enough nutrition, naturally the muscle is going to go away, because naturally if you're in a calorie deficit, for the people who are looking to do fat loss, then this exercise is really important to get that blood flow to the muscle and to make the muscle intact. So this is the fourth and one of the most easiest exercise which we have to do, and that is leg extension. So guys, when you're doing this extension machine, just make sure that the range is full, both at the bottom and at the top, because usually what people do is they keep their range at the top full, of course, but then when they come at the bottom, they just do half reps. So you have to come down more, just stretch the muscle more and then contract. So the contraction is even more and the blood flow is nicer. First thing. Secondly, keep your chest up, no need to take the momentum, keep that focus and then go for the set. So guys, we are doing the third set for this. We are focusing on the reps more than the heavy weights because as I said, the muscle is important than any other thing. Just 2 more corrections for this, that don't lift your hips up when you're doing this exercise, because otherwise you're taking the momentum of your hips and then doing this exercise. So make sure that you hold the handles tight, keep your chest up, and just focus on lifting the weight up. That's how it goes. Moving on, the 5th and the last exercise for the quads muscle, and that is the leg press. And when you do this exercise, rather, your foot placement is really important. So right now you're placing the feet exactly under your shoulders. Now some people place it outwards, some people place it at the top, some people place it in the middle at the top. The right foot placement is exactly slightly wider than your shoulders and exactly straight pointing outwards when it comes to your toes. So this is the foot placement. If you want to focus on the hamstrings, then you place your feet exactly on the top and on the outer part. If you want to focus more on the glutes and the hamstring more than the quads, then you place it downwards and of course facing outwards. But if you want to force your quads to be pushing the weight up, then you keep it exactly in the center, shoulder distance between your feet, and perfectly in the parallel range to your body, not exactly at the top and not exactly too much at the bottom. So this is the feet placement for leg press. Moving on to the hamstring muscles, and the first exercise for that is the stiff leg deadlifts. Again, there are many misconceptions when it comes to the stiff leg deadlifts, but and rather this is the most avoided exercise for hamstrings. I don't know why people just do the leg curls and move on to the calf muscles, but there are 2 variations which you can do for the hamstrings. There are 2 deep muscles in the hamstrings and we need to train them both. So for one deep muscle, this is the stiff leg deadlift, and the other one we are doing the lying leg curl. So let's understand the form first, and then I'll tell you what are the mistakes that need to be avoided. So the major mistakes that you've seen that of course I've corrected when I'm doing this exercise is that many people tend to keep their knees absolutely straight when you're doing this. That is risky because you're keeping your knee absolutely stiff and there is a chance of injury when you're doing that. So you keep your knees soft, that's completely alright, and you tend to keep your back absolutely straight. That's what we expect in this exercise. So stiff leg means you keep your knee slightly soft and put that complete stretch on the hamstring when you're bending forward. As I said, you keep your back straight. More importantly, keep your chest up, which is the starting point, the initial phase to keep your back straight. The dumbbell position, when you keep the dumbbells in front of your knees, make sure that they're not brushing your shin bones or the knee joint. I understand many basic coaches tell their clients to keep their bar or the dumbbells absolutely close to the body. So you push your hips back, that's fine, but don't brush them because there is a chance of hurting that bone or the joint. So you can keep it slightly far away, of course, as I said, keeping your body absolutely tight, keeping your back straight and your knees soft. One form correction that I forgot to tell you guys was regarding the hip thrust. So basically when you do this exercise, of course you're using that complete hamstring to pull the weight up, but when you stand, when you're finishing the rep, make sure that you completely do the hip thrust, because that is going to complete the rep and the muscle is going to be in that contraction even if you're standing in the position. So if you're lifting the weight with your lower back, then naturally the hamstrings are not going to work. So keep your glutes tight, keep hamstrings tight, stand with the hamstrings and then contract your glutes and do the hip thrust. So that's how the complete rep goes. Moving on to the next variation of the hamstrings. Moving on to the last variation for the hamstrings, and that's the lying leg curl. You can also do the seated leg curl, of course what your gym provides you with, but technically, naturally what happens is when you're doing the leg curl, the lying leg curl seems to be tough, but if you look at it on a technical perspective, then the seated leg curl is going to be exactly targeting the muscle, because the tension on the muscle is going to be absolutely equal when you're pulling and when you're releasing the muscle. When it comes to the lying leg curl machine, when you pull, the contraction is maximum, but when you release, the muscle also gets relaxes. So that's the basic difference between the lying leg curl and the seated leg curl. this should be the last variation for the hamstrings. Okay, so this is the leg curl that we are doing. Make sure that you control as the weight goes down. You inhale and punch the cushion out to your butt. So that's the contraction that the muscle actually requires, and control absolutely down. So the muscle is going to be contracted. Make sure that your toes are not completely flexed. Try to keep them normal and pull them with the hamstrings itself. Inhale before every pull. Hold the breath, control down, and then exhale, inhale, punch. So guys, when you're doing it with the heavier weights, you can slightly use the momentum of your upper body to lift the weight up. We don't call it as a cheat rep, but it's absolutely fine if you're lifting heavy, but make sure that the weight is 90% pulled only by the hamstrings that we are targeting. Moving on to the last variation and the last muscle for the legs, and that's going to be the calves. We are doing two variations for the calf. One is the standing calf raises and the other one is the sitting calf raises on the leg press machine. You can do it on the seated calf raises machine as well if you have it in the gym, but today in this gym we don't have that machine. So we are doing it on the standing and on the leg press machine for the calves. It's the most avoided exercise because by the time you reach this muscle, your body is completely tired and you're just not in a mood to do that exercise. But for guys and girls like me whose calves are really small genetically, we have to train this muscle, and for me, I train this at least 3 to 4 sets for every variation because you need to keep that muscle stronger, because if you look at the bottom, that's the foundation, as I said, of your body. So when you squat or when you walk or when you run or when you stand or when you're working for the complete day, that calf has so much load on its muscle that you have to train them and to make them stronger. So we are doing these last two variations for the workout, and that's going to be for the leg lock. So guys, we've come to the end of the vlog, and this is one of the finest vlogs that we've shot because it was the legs one, and it was a much awaited one because I got a lot of texts regarding when is the leg vlog coming, and we need to follow the workout routine that you're going to give for the legs muscle. One important thing you must have observed right from the beginning, that I'm not wearing my shoes for the workout. That means that when I'm doing any sort of a pushing movement with the leg, I usually prefer doing it with my full foot on the floor. If you don't have any sort of shoes that have a flat sole or something, it's better you do it with your flat foot, or rather then you can get a powerlifting shoe and then you can do it. But I don't have a powerlifting shoe, so I prefer to do it with my normal foot, and that gives me absolute perfect grip to go for squats, for lunges, for leg press, and for any exercise for the legs for that matter. So this is the vlog that we've done. We are going to give you some major nutrition tips in the next vlog, and as I always say that we've shot this vlog with too much love, affection and too much efforts because we are shooting this vlog for almost 2.5 to 3 hours now. So we are trying to make it absolute perfect for you guys. Just give us the right love and support and try to spread this vlog as much as possible, and I hope that you guys get motivated looking at this. If any corrections or if you have any thoughts in mind, do mention in the comment section below, and keep sharing the same love and support for our vlogs. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, FitVid with Parth. And if you are looking to enroll in our hashtag 30 days to transform program, go in my Instagram profile, tap the link on my bio, fill the Google form. My team will reach out to you and we start the fitness journey in our 30 days to transform program. Till then, take very good care of yourselves and see you in the next one.